Hi everyone, and welcome to 4-Level English. Today, I want to talk about smartphones. Now, smartphones are a very useful tool for people every day. People will use smartphones every day. Many people at work use smartphones. Many people, when they are at home relaxing, will also use smartphones. I enjoy using my smartphone for a variety of reasons. One of my favorite things to use my phone for is watching YouTube videos. YouTube videos are one of my favorite kinds of entertainment. The reason I like watching YouTube videos is because there are so many different topics. You can watch movies for free. You can watch videos that other people have made. No matter what kind of topic you like, you can find a video that you will enjoy. Sometimes the smartphone gets a little too distracting. Oftentimes, I see people at the restaurant on a date with their partner, or their wife, or their husband, or their children, and everybody is using a smartphone. The husband is watching sports on a smartphone. The wife is scrolling TikTok or Instagram on her smartphone. The children are wearing headphones and usually have iPads. Nobody is talking to each other, and this is sad. In my family, when we go to a restaurant, nobody uses a smartphone. I don't use a smartphone at the table. My wife will not use a smartphone at the table. My children are not allowed to use iPads at the table. They are allowed to have books or color or draw. I believe this is a healthy habit for children to have. When using a smartphone, you have to understand that many people will find it distracting. I bet you've been at work before, and some people have been talking to you and at the same time have been on their phone. For me, I believe this is very rude. I believe that if you are talking to somebody, you should put down your phone. If you're talking to somebody, you should make eye contact and give them your full attention. If you're using a smartphone while you're talking to another person and you never look in their eyes and you are always looking at your phone, this person might find it rude. However, as a teacher, I've noticed that many young people are always on their phone if they're allowed to be. They are not allowed to use smartphones or any phones during the day. Most children own a smartphone. I have students that are first graders. That means they are 7 years old, even 8 years old, and they already have their own phone. For me, this is sad. I think a smartphone at that young age will not help a student. It will only distract them with games, apps, and other things that will take them away from their work. Even at recess, which is our break time in the United States after they eat lunch, the children will try to sneak their smartphones onto the playground and play on their phones when they should be running around, being healthy, and getting exercise. I think that running around and getting exercise is a very important part of a child's day because it helps their body grow. It helps them maintain a healthy lifestyle. Much of school today is happening on a computer already. So if they are already on a screen all day long, they do not need to be on their smartphone during recess time. This is my opinion as a teacher, but many other teachers share this same opinion. Now, as an adult, I depend on my smartphone use throughout the day. Many emails come to me, whether it be outside of work or during the workday. Oftentimes, my office phone will ring and I'm not around, so my boss will call or text me on my phone while I'm somewhere else. I could be on my lunch break, I could be out walking around. Oftentimes on my lunch break, I like to walk around the city because I live in Philadelphia and the city is very beautiful. So sometimes if the weather is nice, during my lunch break, after I eat, I'll walk around Philadelphia, take pictures with my camera, not my phone, and enjoy the scenery as well as the healthy activity of walking. Sometimes I'll even go rucking. Now, if you don't know what rucking is, it's where you wear a heavy backpack. My backpack is 20 pounds or 30 pounds, depending on the day, and I will walk around the city while wearing a heavy backpack. A lot of people like to ruck in the forest or the mountains or on nature walks, but because I'm not near any sort of nature walk or mountain or forest, I'll go rucking in the city, and it's totally normal. The backpack I have is very thin, and it sits very close to my body, so it doesn't feel like I'm wearing a giant backpack. It's just a very heavy backpack, and it gets me to get a little more exercise than I would if I was just walking. Oftentimes, I'll walk in Chinatown and pick up some snacks for my kids. I have a lot of students who are hungry. Now, some of my students, they don't have access to a lot of snacks at home. So what I do as a teacher is I will buy some snacks and share it with my students if they're doing a good job or even if they just ask, because I don't know their home situation and they might not be getting a lot of food or snacks at home. This is a problem with living and working in the city. But I find rucking to be a very healthy activity that doesn't involve a phone. Oftentimes, I'll put on a language podcast or listen to music while I'm rucking. And sometimes I have to look at my phone to check the time, but also I wear a Garmin watch, so I try not to look at my phone as much as possible. Listening to music or a podcast is about the extent of what I use my smartphone for while I'm rucking. I find it to be a very relaxing, but also very healthy activity. Now, when it comes to using smartphones, I don't always like to incorporate smartphones in my day because I'm really trying to distance myself and get away from just constantly being on a screen. You probably know from your work that no matter what you do, unless you're like some kind of like outdoorsman or lumberjack, you're probably going to be on some sort of screen throughout your day. I don't really care for that because if I'm just constantly staring at a phone, I find it to be really unhealthy. I wear glasses, so a lot of times if I am like squinting at a phone or a computer screen all day, it makes my eyes hurt, it makes them strain, and I just don't like it. I also just find it to be a time waster. A lot of times I'll look at the clock and I'm like, oh my God, I just watched YouTube shorts for like an hour straight. I don't really have any other social media. The only thing I have is YouTube. So if I find myself down a rabbit hole, it's probably from Reddit or YouTube. I've deleted pretty much all of my social media beyond those two things because I found one point I was visiting my mom and my kids were playing in the living room and I'm just swiping through Instagram and I'm not looking at anything important. Like nothing I'm looking at is more important than my kids. So at that point in my life, I realized, okay, I don't really need Instagram. At that point in my life, I realized I didn't really need Instagram. I didn't really need any of this other distraction stuff. The world is filled with so many distractions that you don't really need to have so much social media. Now, one of the things I found from too much social media use is when you tell people like you don't have social media, they think you're weird. Like it's like I just don't want to be constantly staring at a screen all day and I'm the weird one. So like for example, a lot of my friends will ask me, do I have Facebook? Yes, I'm a little older, so people ask me if I have a Facebook. I don't have a Facebook. I cannot handle listening to my crazy uncle's political opinions any more than I have to. Now, a lot of times they'll ask me if I have an Instagram or they want to share something with me. I have friends that will share an Instagram reel with me via text and I can't look at it because I can't open it on my phone. And I have to have the awkward thing where I go, oh, I can't look at it because I don't have Instagram. And of course, I'm the weirdo for not having Instagram. But, you know, once I deleted Instagram, I found that life was a lot better. Instagram, Facebook, and I never really had a TikTok. I never really understood the point of TikTok. I found it to be like very wasteful on time. I downloaded it, I signed up for it, And then I tried using it and I felt like I was going crazy while I was watching it. Like a lot of times I was like swiping, I'm like, what is this? What is this? It'd be like somebody squeezing a rubber thing and goo was coming out of it, or somebody would be running over. Like maybe I just didn't give it time to set my algorithm to, you know, man stuff or, you know, tech stuff or whatever it was I was interested in. But I feel like TikTok is really odd, and it's funny because a lot of my students, I mean, like most of my students use their phone for TikTok, and I have this one girl that's on my volleyball team, and she used to be so smart, so sweet, and then she got a phone, and now any sort of downtime she fills with her phone. And I look and it's just TikTok. It's nothing productive. It's not like she's doing Duolingo. It's not like she's reading books on her phone. She's literally just on TikTok. And it's crazy because she was always just like this high achieving, like straight edge, you know, she always did the right thing kind of girl. And now she's just constantly on her phone. And I worry that that's kind of what the future of what we're looking at is like. You know, it's like, this is one of the reasons I'm not going to buy my kids a phone until they go to high school. They also have the blessing of going to the same school that I teach at. So I kind of already know where they are at all times. And when we travel, I just little AirTag pin them. But overall, I find smartphones to be very useful, but also, you know, kind of a time waster. I mean, you can hear right now, there's an ambulance. Probably somebody died of a smartphone overdose. My name is Ari, and thank you for watching 4 Level English. I hope you enjoyed everything you heard today. Let me know in the comments below what you want me to talk about next. I will talk about the same topic in 4 different levels. Take care and have a great rest of your day.